Hey, today's video is a bit different because I wanted to give you an update on why I've been so absent in the past month and overall just what has been going on. While this is a personal update, I really hope that this will also inspire you to be a bit more intentional, to think about what are you doing in your life, what are the things that you're putting your time and effort and energy into that maybe you could take a break from for a while, or maybe you could even step away from just for good. A couple of you have reached out through email to me to ask what's going on and if I'm okay, and that has been really cool for me to see that people on the internet they still care about a stranger, So thank you so much for getting in touch. But I'm okay. Nothing emergent has happened. I just realized that it might have worried or been worrisome for some that I'm away for a month, especially around COVID times, but I'm very happy to report that it has nothing to do with the pandemic. At the beginning of April, I had a call with a marketing consultant, Erica Tevins, who helped me see what it is that I really actually help people with so that I could just better focus with the content that I create. I've got so many things that I'm interested in when it comes to self-improvement and living an intentional life and minimalism and all this stuff, and just like business ownership and running a business that's sustainable, or running it in a sustainable way when it comes to energy and time. But the problem is that when you create content around so many things, it is really hard for people to know what exactly I can help them with, or what exactly my channel or my Instagram or my blog is even about. So as I was talking to Erica, the consultant, it really started to become pretty clear, and she saw that what I really help most of my coachees with is to just sort of align their schedules, their routines, their habits to what they want their life to actually look like. So I basically help people troubleshoot what's not working in their everydays right now, and what little tweaks and what feels good, what can they do to make it all make sense for them, to make it all feel purposeful for them, so that they're spending their time in a way that feels meaningful. So that is one update from the past month that I'm really, really excited about. I've also been thinking quite deeply about in which way is it that I want to do business, and how do I really want to show up in this world? Because so much of the advice and the information, and then frankly the noise out there on the internet and everywhere, all the things that you should do in your business, it's really based on hustle culture and bro marketing, and that's just something that I have no interest in participating in, or at least something that I really, really want to get away from. Well, I don't think I've been super participating in it. It is also something that has been driving sort of some of the things that I do in my business, because I thought that that's how you're supposed to do it. Being consistent with YouTube videos was one thing, and remember to say in every video, introduce yourself and what you do and what your channel's all about, and everybody should subscribe, ask them to like your video, comment, all of that stuff. It has felt a little bit icky. I hope I haven't been doing it in an icky way, but yeah, the consistency on YouTube has been one of those things that I have been questioning, because I'm not really interested in growing a massive YouTube channel, and all of that advice out there is really aimed at somebody who wants to become YouTube famous or be an influencer or whatever, and I'm not interested in that. What I want to do is grow a coaching business that's sustainable, that I have enough energy and time for, so that I can help others really, really dive deep into what's going on with them and what might work for them. And having a YouTube channel, growing a massive channel, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort, and all kinds of emotional labor that I don't think I'm super interested in. It'll be cool if this channel grew to a couple thousand or a few thousand people, but I am not aiming for the same thing as many others have going on with their 100,000 subscribers, where they're basically making their living off of of being a YouTuber. That's not really what I want. I want to make my living off of coaching and helping people. So just as I help my coaching clients figure out what's a good use of their time, I've also had to take a really, really hard look at my own stuff. And in that process, I was also wondering if YouTube is a good use of my time. And just in general, does it feel good and right for me? And then thinking about this made me think back to when I started this YouTube channel. So I've actually been a podcast binge listener for like 6 or 7 years, pretty much for as long as I've had my photography business, or for as long as I really took that business seriously. And starting my own podcast has also kind of just been a dream of mine throughout that time. But in the fall of 2019, I was trying to make the decision, should I start a podcast or should I start a YouTube channel? I had just sort of discovered YouTube for myself. I was really watching a lot of self-improvement and minimalism and intentional living stuff on there. So I was kind of excited about YouTube in that way. Plus, all of the experts, the marketing and the online business experts out there were saying that video is what you have to do. You have to make videos if you want to build trust with clients. You have to, it's have to, and you must start a YouTube channel. So in the end, I picked YouTube over podcasting because, I was just kind of influenced by my own excitement for YouTube, but also by all these experts. And I figured I just won't have the time for both a podcast and YouTube. So I went with YouTube. And now it's been a year and a half. And while I have become more comfortable with video and more comfortable talking to you, there are some things that I am still not super excited about when it comes to video. I'm not saying that everything we do has to feel good and everything. There are some things, there's always gonna be stuff that feels uncomfortable about some things that we do, especially when we're showing up publicly in a way. But there's still been some stuff that I thought would start to feel easier as I keep doing this, and they just don't. For example, I have to make videos at a specific time of the day to have good light in here, because there are times of the day when the sun hits the building across, which is light, so then it brings in a pretty good light. But if I start recording a video while the light is there and then the sun moves and the light goes away, the video gets darker. There's all this stuff. Or if it's a day when there are a bunch of clouds that are going across the sun, it means that the light is really inconsistent. And I'm sure that you maybe even have noticed that in some of my videos. And that really bugs the heck out of me. It bothers me so much that I have a hard time just looking at the videos and editing them, because it hurts my brain so much. It is also kind of really stressful for me that I am not able to look at my notes as I'm talking. I mean, basically I could, but it's also not very fun maybe for the viewer that I'm looking away everywhere and trying to remember what it is that I'm gonna try to say. See, I'm already struggling not looking at what it is I was supposed to talk about. But anyway, because I'm not able to look at my notes while I am recording or while I'm looking in the direction of the camera, it also means that when I edit videos, it takes such a long time just to edit out all of those moments where I'm looking down at my laptop for my notes. And then I mess up quite a lot because I can't look at my notes, so I have to keep redoing a bunch of things. And it just feels like there's a lot more resistance, or it's not as effortless as I would like it to be. On top of all of that, I need to just feel like I want to be on video. I need to feel like, okay, today is a nice day to show up and to have some energy. And overall, it just feels like video is kind of a performance. I feel like I can't just be me. You know how they say that the camera adds 10 pounds or whatever? The camera also takes away half of your energy. And I don't feel like myself when I'm trying to be, or trying to get the energy level on film to be the same as it is in my real life. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's kind of tiring. If I'm excited, if I'm talking about something that I'm excited about, and I'm kind of excited about this video, it is easier. But otherwise, especially if I'm in my cycle in a low energy week or something, or whatever else is going on, and I'm not feeling that energetic, it's just a lot. And when I think about how I like to consume content, it is actually podcast instead of video. If I want to watch YouTube videos, I need to kind of be intentional about it. Like, okay, now I have to have time and I should actually look at this thing. But I love listening to podcasts when I'm driving or walking the dog or doing chores at home. So I figure that maybe other people who also are doing or trying to do big things in their life, they are maybe also too busy to sit in front of YouTube all day. So I also want to cater to that if somebody wants to listen to me instead. And I do feel like listening to podcasts, it is somehow more intimate. It's like that person is right there with you or with me somehow. While when I'm watching videos, they're still in this frame. There's this screen in between. There's just something more distant about it. It's not kind of like you're being with someone while listening to podcasts, especially the ones where the podcaster is talking directly to the listener. I really love that because it feels so much more, intimate and personal. So in April, I decided that I'm going to try out podcasting for 3 months, and then I'll evaluate whether or not I want to keep going at it, or if it was just an experiment that showed me that nope. At first, I was actually planning on doing both YouTube and podcast at the same time during these months, but I pretty quickly realized that nope, I do not have the capacity for that. It takes up so much time, especially to get started, because there were so many things that I needed to figure out. So I ended up just deciding to take a bit of a break from YouTube. Once I have the podcasting habit sorted down, I might be back at YouTube again more, but we'll see. I might not. I just might not feel like it, even if I have the time. And it's funny because then when I decided that, okay, I'm just gonna take a break from YouTube, I also got this feeling like, oh no, I have to make a video to explain why I'm not uploading. I have to make a video explaining what's going on. But I realized that was again sort of that scared feeling I get from going against expert advice. And I knew that people are probably, maybe most people at least, are probably not even gonna notice. There's so much stuff on YouTube to watch anyway, so who's gonna notice that this one YouTuber didn't upload a certain week, right? And I know that even if I do have some unfollows, even if people unsubscribe, that's really not going to have an impact, I think, in the grand scheme of things on my coaching business. But I did want to hop on here now when I have gotten the podcasting thing going, and I genuinely just had the time, and I really felt like talking to you today. I've actually got a few podcast episodes out now, so if you do want to go listen to those, you can find Make Your Day, or you can search for Jenna Hellberg on any of your podcast apps, or I leave a link below too in case you are having trouble finding it. So at this point, it looks like I will still be making videos for YouTube from time to time, but it's definitely not going to be on a weekly basis. Maybe monthly or so, because it's just too much work to do both right now. I actually need to have time for my coaching clients too, Definitely some things are easier to communicate through video than through audio because you can show stuff. So I do think I will get in here from time to time. Or I might suddenly figure out a new way that I would like to make videos. Or maybe I'll just record myself while I'm recording podcast episodes. Or I might just miss this and just decide to come back to this. If you have watched this video this far, that's awesome, because I do have an encouragement that I want to leave you with so that you'll have something that I hope you're taking away from this video. It is okay to experiment and to tweak and to iterate as you go until you find what works for you, until you find what feels best for you. Just because some expert somewhere out there said that something should be done for your business or for your creative practices or for your self-improvement, it doesn't mean that it is the right thing for you. And just because something is how it is right now, just because you're trying something right now, it doesn't mean that it has to be forever. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me. I will see you when I see you. Bye.